Avery, did you know that there are 4 different buying personality types for your art business?
What?
The ideal buyers for your art business fall into 4 categories when it comes to making a purchase. And when you know what those are, you'll be able to position your master offer to make more sales.
Sweet baby Buddha. Dish! Alexis, dish!
There's the competitive buyer.
First. I was first.
What was that?
That's what I imagine a competitive buyer to be.
Oh, there's the humanistic buyer.
Everything I do for humanity.
And the spontaneous buyer.
Whatever it is, I'll take it.
And the methodical buyer.
Madame, I will not buy until I read all of the fine print.
And that's it.
If you've been following me online and watching my videos, you know that in order to build a successful art business, you first must do 2 things. Discover your signature story and identify and engage with your ideal buyers. Doing these 2 things is absolutely critical to running a thriving art business online and is at the heart of what we teach in the Artisan Business Profit Canvas Mentorship Program. Now, a lot of artists think, okay, well, if I know these 2 things, then I'll just start making sales automatically, right? Wrong. Here's the thing. As an artist in business, you will always need to be improving upon and making adjustments to your strategy as it evolves. And the problem you have now to solve becomes, how do I create an offer that speaks to my ideal buyers and gets to the heart of their wants and needs? Your mission is to build a relationship with your ideal buyers so that they will not only want to pay you for what you have to offer, but they'll want to invest in you and your art business for the long haul. So how do you do that? Well, for any offer you create, you must understand that each person in your audience of ideal buyers has a different way of processing information. You need to be able to address them at the exact place they are in terms of both personality and circumstances. This is what determines whether they invest in you and your art business or not. But don't worry, there's an actual formulaic approach you can follow to achieve this goal. Once you understand the 4 buying personality types and their objections, you'll know exactly how to create an offer that resonates with them and gets them to act. In general, there are actually 4 buying personality types for everyone, and they are the spontaneous buyer, the humanistic buyer, the methodical buyer, and the competitive buyer. So, let's break them down. The spontaneous buyer makes quick decisions to buy based on gut instinct. They don't need to read the fine print, and they'd rather invest now and deal with any ramifications of that investment if it's not right later. They don't want to spend a lot of time mulling over the decision. The spontaneous buyer needs 3 things to help them make the purchase immediately. Number 1, information about the offer. Number 2, a link to buy the offer. And 3, the timeline they have to make the purchase. If you do not do these things immediately and upfront, you risk losing the spontaneous buyer in an instant. Next is the humanistic buyer. Now, the humanistic buyer is driven to make a purchase solely on their emotional connection to it. Some people are humanistic buyers by nature, but some become humanistic because of how an offer speaks to them on an emotional level. This is why it is so important to think deeply about how you position your offer and how you think it will emotionally connect with your ideal buyer. The way to a humanistic buyer's heart is to give them 2 things. Number 1, the story behind the offer. And number 2, more information about you and where the offer came from, also known as your signature story. Then we have the methodical buyer. The methodical buyer is the exact opposite of the spontaneous buyer. They need to read all the fine print and get all of the details. Some people are naturally methodical buyers, but sometimes it's due to circumstance. Like the person may be making a large purchase larger than normal and want to know all the ins and outs. When you craft your offer for the methodical buyer, you'll want to include these 3 things. Number 1, all the details they need to know about the offer, period, the end. Number 2, your guarantee for that offer. And 3, a place they can go to ask further questions, like an FAQ list of frequently asked questions. Finally, we have the competitive buyer. Now, the competitive buyer is also called a deadline dancer because they wait until the last minute to make a purchase. This is sometimes because a person is naturally inclined to wait until the last minute, or it could be due to something going on in their life, like they have 3 kids. Just getting to that decision to buy can be very in the moment. For the competitive buyer, for this reason, you'll want to give them 2 things. Number 1, a firm deadline that you repeat over and over. They will thank you for this each and every time. And a link for them to make the purchase easily. They need both of those. So when you can create an offer that speaks to the spontaneous, humanistic, methodical, and competitive buyers' wants and needs, your art business will begin to make leaps and bounds. But from here, we need to understand what could possibly be their objections. Objections are reasons people have that stop them from making an investment in your offer, even though they want to invest in it. So there will always be objections, or roadblocks, if you will, getting in the way of your ideal buyers making a purchase. That's why it's important to anticipate them by handling them. It'll put your ideal buyers' minds at ease and will establish a deep level of trust with them immediately. Here are 3 examples of common objections when it comes to art commissions. What if I don't like it once I see it in person? Big one. What is the return policy? Another important one. How do I know you're going to be able to give me what I envision in my mind? A great way to respond to these objections is as follows. Number 1, I don't take returns on commissions, but I have a thorough onboarding process where you get to approve 3 stages of the process so we both know you'll be happy with the finished piece. Some of you are already doing this. The following 3 questions illustrate common original painting objections. What if it's just not right in my space? What if I don't like it in person? And what if I need a different frame? A great way to respond to these objections is as follows. I don't take returns, but I ensure you can see what the piece will look like in your space through my virtual gallery. I have a 30-day guarantee, so if you're not happy after 30 days, you actually can return the piece for a full refund. And I don't handle framing, but if you need a different frame, I have 2 referrals that I always give my clients. Now, the following 3 questions are known as online course objections. I've never taken a painting course online, and I'm afraid I won't be able to keep up. How do I get critiques if you're not with me in person? How much time will I have to spend on my computer during this course? A great way to respond to these objections is as follows. You will receive more personal attention online than you would in person because of the private coaching group I offer, plus the flexibility of the online space. Here is a video of how I give critiques online. In terms of time on your computer, you will do the lessons in your own time and use the online group for critiques or questions, so that part is up to you. When you understand the 4 buying personality types and how to anticipate their objections to purchasing your art business will be in a position to make huge sales and expansive growth. For so many artists, it's easy to feel lost. You feel like there's no clear path telling you exactly what you need to do to achieve your dream of running your own art business and making an impact in people's lives. As an artist myself, this is why I started Artisan Business. I've created a specific roadmap that will tell you exactly what you need to do to run a thriving art business. If this speaks to you, you can find it in my AIB Jumpstart program. The link is right in my bio. I cannot wait to see you there.